Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, welcome to 2021, and welcome to a brand new series. Today I am kicking off my new series that I'm calling Refashion Your Closet. And the main focus is, for me personally, to pull some garments out of my closet that maybe I'm not wearing, maybe I have actually never worn for whatever reason, and give them a new life so I can enjoy them and the fabric isn't just sitting there. Sometimes as a pattern tester, we try out garments that maybe end up not being quite right. It needs a few fixes. Maybe they end up not being our style, or whatever the case is. They're just hanging out in our closets, doing absolutely nothing but taking up space. And this year I'm kind of setting out to get rid of a few of those items. I have quite a few in my closet. So I thought this could be a fun series for upcycling, refashioning, maybe focusing on using scraps, whatever I might find that's really not getting the greatest use from. So today we are starting with pants. Pants are always kind of hit or miss when you're learning how to fit yourself. And the pants that I'm refashioning today are the 5 out of 4 Lola pants, which is actually a popular pattern. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it, other than the style just didn't suit me. The style is like a high-rise, wide leg pant, which maybe didn't look absolutely awesome on me. I'm going to show you guys a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. The pants are exactly what they are advertised as, high-rise, wide leg. There's a short option, which I made the shorts and I really like them. But the pants just were hanging out in my closet. I think I had worn them like one time and I was tripping over the wideness of the pant legs. I'm a little bit clumsy, so it just was bad. So I decided that the Lola bottoms was going to be my first refashion of the year. And as an added bonus, those pants are 30% off today. I'll share an affiliate link down below if you would like to check them out. They're really great pants, just weren't my style. And the pattern, we're going to keep them as pants. They're going to become the candy pants, also by 5 out of 4, which is probably maybe my most worn next to the Diane joggers. My most worn pants. I really like them. They have several options. They're just comfy, lounge around. I wear them to work, I wear them shopping, I wear them to bed. They're just comfy pants. So I decided that I would use all that fabric from my Lola pants and make usable candy pants. So it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. I'm actually really excited for this entire series, and I hope you guys stick around. If that's something you're into, upcycling, refashioning, great patterns, just click my like and subscribe buttons below, ring the bell so you know that my new videos are posted. I'm planning to do one a month, maybe a few bonus ones thrown in there, but that's my goal. So before we get started, like I said, the Lola pants are 30% off. The candy pants are also 30% off. The entire 5 out of 4 website is 30% off, which is like their biggest sale of the year. So it's going to be around for 2 more days, I think, so you don't want to miss out. My affiliate links are below. They cost you absolutely nothing to use, but I receive a commission from the designer for sharing my love of their patterns. It's just like a little thank you. And I do thank you guys for watching. I thank you for shopping with my links and supporting my channel. To go with my pants, today I'm actually wearing a different 5 out of 4 pattern. This is the Easy Tee. Excellent pattern. I've done a whole series on it. But in my refashion pictures at the very end, you'll see that I'm wearing a black rib knit sweater. And that's the Annabeth pattern, which I also have a lot of love for. I think between my mom and myself, we might have like 9 or 10 of them now. Super comfy raglan sleeves, one of my absolute favorites. So I will link all those patterns below, and a link just to get you to 5 out of 4. And I appreciate you guys sticking around. I hope you enjoy our first refashion of 2021, and I hope you learned something new from my channel. Okay, so what I've already done is I've completely picked apart the pair of pants that I wanted to reuse the fabric from, I actually got this from Sci-Fox probably 2 years ago. I wanted to save it because this is really a ton of fabric. These were high-waisted, wide leg pants. I think it took the better part of like 3 yards for me to make the pants. So that's definitely worth reusing. So before I turned on the camera, I had placed the fabric, which was both pant legs, wrong sides together. Probably should have done right sides, but no big deal. I've already cut out and prepared my fabric, or my pattern, I'm sorry. So it's ready to go. These are the 5 out of 4 candy pants in the yoga pant leg, so it's a little bit wider down here. This pattern also has the leggings pattern, which is much skinnier as a legging would be. So we're going to go ahead and cut this out. And I like to use my rotary cutter and cutting mat just because it's a lot faster. But whatever your preference is. And I have to put 2 tables together when I'm doing larger patterns. So there's always like that little weird where the mats don't quite meet. And I have to fool with them a little bit. But it's better than cutting on the floor. So I deal with it. This is cutting the crotch curve. Just probably the back crotch curve. This is the waist, I believe. I want to say this is the mid-rise. It's the rise I always cut. Don't forget your notches. This is the back seam. So I was marked out with 2 notches to indicate the back. In most patterns, also, if the designer has marked the front from the back, they'll use 2 notches, cuts. They'll use 2 of something to indicate the back. Typically you see that for like shirts. Again, this is that funny part where my mats aren't together. And yeah, like when I'm sewing not on camera, I'm also like laying on my table, and I'm really kind of a disaster, to be honest. But it works. I also could probably go with some nicer pattern weights, but I really just grab whatever's around. So that is both pant legs. There's also a waistband, but I'm going to use a solid black cotton lycra, I believe, for my waistband. So here is this pant leg, and you can, if you remember what I just cut out, you can see how much smaller this pant leg is compared to the wide leg style of the Lola pants, which was what that pattern was in a previous life. So next we're going to switch this up, and I'm going to sew these pants together with you, and we're going to make some pretty cool snakeskin pants. So we have 2 more pieces to cut out before we can assemble our yoga pants, our candy pants, and that would be the waistband, which we need 2 of. And I just found this large piece of, it's brushed poly. I was going to use cotton lycra, but this was actually laying in my sewing space, so let's go ahead and use it up. And I need 2 for the front and the back. So we want to fold this so it's sort of even, flat. And you always want to cut your waistbands with the stretch as it would stretch around your waistband. So here's a selvage, and you want to cut your waistband in between them. And again, this is using up some more scraps so they don't just end up hanging out in my stash. But honestly, black doesn't stick around here very long because I use it with a lot of stuff. So again, there's our 2 waistband pieces. Super easy to cut those out. I'm going to throw this aside. And of course we want to cut the crotch gusset. And I'm using the full gusset, the full diamond shape. This pattern includes a half gusset, which is like a triangle. I'm using the full, or you can sew it with no gusset at all, but I like to put it in there. And obviously you can just use a small scrap. to make that happen. You can see the little leftover threads from where I took these pants apart to reuse them. So there's our little diamond. And that's the last thing we need to cut. These pants consist of 2 waistbands, 1 gusset, and 2 legs. So super, super fast, super easy to sew. So let me switch over to the sewing machine and then we'll be all set. I've already clipped together our waistband and both of our legs. And I just did that to save a little bit of time on camera. It's a pretty simple task to do. And I'm serging this together with gray thread. A lot of times, instead of using the exact color, I'll just use a combination of grays. They tend to blend in well with most prints. So for our candy pants, we just clip both of the leg seams for each leg together and stitch that. If you're not using your serger, you can always use your sewing machine with a stretch stitch. Just keep your seams as lined up as possible. This fabric is really slippery. Actually, I think it might be single brushed poly. I think yesterday I may have called it double brushed when I was cutting it out. Okay, that was our first leg seam, and here's our second one. And again, they're just matched up from the front and back crotch point down to the bottom hemline. And when I'm clipping, I will clip up at the highest point and the lowest point and work top to bottom, going back and forth, so I don't end up with excess fabric at the bottom hem once I get there. So once we have completed sewing both legs, just go ahead and clip into your thread tails, turn one leg right side out. And then next we need to put in the gusset. So locate your center crotch point. Sorry. And your diamond or triangle, depending on what you have. I have the diamond. I'm doing a full gusset. And you want to line up the crotch point with the points that are the shortest. So I try to remind myself that the longest part of the diamond goes along the crotch seam. So just like this, and then stitch that. And these directions also have a video with them, but this is exactly how you do it. So from the highest point to the center, And I like to sew right to the end and then kind of turn your diamond shape so that now it lines up. This is the front crotch along the length of the front crotch. And then stitch that down. So now we have 1/2 of our gusset sewn in place. Okay, our next step is sewing the gusset to the opposite leg. And this is really easy to do. You just want to locate those 2 notches we clipped in the fabric to indicate the back seam. And I like to put a little clip there. You can see I've already clipped this one. This is the back seam because our notches are there. There's our little notches. So, start with the leg that is still inside out. And I put the back seam on the bottom closest to the table. And then now we want our leg that is right side out already with the gusset half sewn in. And you want to make sure to tuck the leg all the way down inside. And you're going to make sure these are right sides touching each other. So, kind of, I'm hoping you can see this. I'm going to adjust a little bit. Okay, so we've tucked one leg inside the other, right sides together. Both back seams are on the same side. And then we want to find our crotch gusset, and it's on the inside leg. So here it is. There it is. And again, we're going to match up the point at the shortest distance with the crotch seam on the opposite leg. So again, I just put a little clip there. And this time when we sew, we're going to sew all the way down the back crotch curve along the gusset. We're going to sew this entire, so this is our waistline, back crotchet, back crotch curve, gusset point. We're going to sew to this point and then adjust our fabric and sew the rest of the way around. Let me slide our stuff back into position. When you're recording yourself, you kind of gotta adjust things, like, because in my camera I cannot see the display window, so I have to check it. So I can feel that we're at the gusset right here. And we're going to sew all the way to this crotch point. Okay, so we have it halfway sewn. So now we will clip in, use our clips to hold, this is the front waist. And you always, well, I shouldn't say always, typically the front crotch curve is shorter than the back, because obviously the back usually leaves room for your booty. And typically, most people, it's bigger. You need more booty room in the back. I have a weird shape, but my crotch curve is still longer in the back. It's just kind of the way pants work. So we're going to start at the crotch curve, or the crotch seam points of the gusset. And just keep sewing all the way around to the top. So now we can flip our leggings all the way right side out. Move your scissors. Let me show you though that the crotch gusset is in there. You can trim these tails. You can trim the tails, stitch them back in, put a drop of glue or whatever your preferred technique is. But it's definitely there, adding more room as it is designed to do. So now we have our pants in one piece and we just have a waistband to put together. Well, we put it together. But the technique for that is we've already stitched both side seams. So it just simply folds. I also like to do this. I clip between my serger thread, so it kind of, I have enough room that I can nest my seams, but I don't clip through my final stitches. Like that last row of stitches, it holds it all together. That way I can kind of, it'll just lay a little bit flatter if you nest your seams. And then I like to clip on both sides. And then they just go in opposite directions. And fold together. That's my dogs playing. They're kind of sounded crazy though. My big dog isn't feeling very good today. She kind of woke up with a bad hip, which is common for her. She's getting old. So now I just want to get these sort of even, and then you find the quarter points just like we did when we were doing the underwear videos, the same way when you do a neckline. Just find that quarter point. And you're going to do this for the sides of the waistband and the top of your pants, of your candy pants leggings. So, oops, I think I only got through one. So that's all 4 points. And you do the same with your pants, and then we'll come right back. Okay, now I have my waistband and the top of my pants both have the quarter points marked. And this one, this is our back. So what we do is match up the clips. And I like to put the waistband side seams on the hip, even though these pants have a front and back seam for the crotch curve. I just prefer the waistbands at the hip. But go around and clip all 4, if you're able to see that. Match up all of your clips. And then another thing I like to do, just for my own personal preference, I like to make like a little homemade tag, just like a folded scrap of fabric to attach at the back waistband. And that's just so they're easier to identify the front from the back when I put them on. So just slip all that under the serger. And then we're ready to go. Just like always, match up. Match up all your edges of fabric. And then just sew all the way around. the all the way around the waistline, connecting your pants to your waistband. I think I'm missing a little bit of fabric there. My bottom waistband fabric is kind of, it folded in a little bit, so it needed a little bit more adjusting. So this is our last section, from one hip to the back seam. And I always like to sew in a little, an elastic around waistbands, because I find that by the end of the day my pants are kind of sliding down. So I like to stop with just maybe an inch or two of an opening, and I just stitch right off the edge, so I still have an opening in my elastic. And then I've already cut my my waistband elastic to the length I need. We just need to sew this together. And this is actually this is like a wide elastic trim, or wide underwear elastic trim. It's like a picot but really wide. But I can get these at my Amish Mennonite, I'm not even sure what they are, warehouse. Must be Amish, it's in Amish country. So I can get this really cheap for, I don't know, 25 yards for like $5 or something. So it works perfectly well as a waistband. So we're going to switch to the sewing machine. I'm going to show you how we do this, and we'll be almost finished. Okay, now we're all set up to put our elastic through our waistband. And like I said, I've already cut my elastic to the correct length. And I just use a bodkin. If you don't have one, you can use a large safety pin, but this honestly is a lot easier. So you just slide it through your waistband. You go all the way through. And you're going to come out right in the same opening as you originally started. And then I try to make sure my elastic is flat all the way through, so you don't have any twists when we sew this together. So it just takes a little bit of arranging to make sure. And mine is obviously twisted in there somewhere because the top of my decorative edge is on the top on one side and the bottom on the other side. So I think my twist, I think it's right here. Yep. Okay, now we're flat. So then I just overlap my ends about, I overlap them about a 1/2 inch. And then just a few rows of back and forth stitching. Okay, and then you can just pull your elastic so it kind of pulls it back up inside. And then we just need to close this little area, and I'll just go ahead and do it on my sewing machine since we're here, on a zigzag stitch. I definitely picked up some extra threads from my serger tail and drawed it through. But that's fine. I'm sure I'll end up running it through my serger anyhow. But just for the sake of finishing these while we're here. And remove that extra clip I have inside, and now we have the waistband sewn on. Nice and flat. So these are, they just need hemmed. And I like to try my pants on before I hem them, because sometimes I think I have them at the right length and I don't, and it's just better to try them on before hemming them. But thanks for joining me today while I sew up the candy pants from 5 out of 4. I'm going to put a link at the bottom, my affiliate link, if you would like to pick up the pattern. Again, these are my favorite yoga pants they have several options. Color blocking, plain. These are the plain ones, obviously. But if you enjoyed today's sew along, just give me a like and subscribe. Let me know if you like these refashioning videos. If you would like to see some more, please let me know. And again, thanks for stopping by.